No, it's still coming in. Can you see that? You can see it squirting up like a geyser. Here, stand where I am. It's freaking awesome!
Something beneath Oak Island just broke loose. Deep in the money pit, a sudden underground collapse sent a thunderous sound tearing through the drill pipes, a sound no one on this team has ever heard before. The shockwave caused water to rush through hidden tunnels and opened up a massive void deep underground. Is the treasure finally within reach, or is the island itself beginning to give way? With water surging at the cove and the earth groaning from below, this mystery is hurtling toward a moment of truth. And you won't believe what the team found next. Ground is giving way. The team at Smith's Cove just faced one of the most intense moments in the history of the island. It all started when they were looking into a potential flood tunnel in the uplands. This area is close to where recent seismic imaging showed something strange hidden deep in the dirt. Marty Lagina joined Craig Tester and the rest of the crew to see what was going on. They were standing near the edge of a deep excavation when they saw something truly wild. Water wasn't just leaking into the hole, it was squirting up from the bottom like a geyser. Billy Gerhardt was operating the long-reach excavator, and everyone was on high alert.
Oh, wow, that whole edge is about to go.
Oh, man, this is all getting kind of dangerous.
Before we go further, if you love deep dive breakdowns like this, make sure you're subscribed to Bravo Tango. It's the only channel that tracks every clue, every crack in the ground, and every discovery the moment it happens. Now, back to the show. The water was rushing in from the landward side, which is a key detail. This suggests that it's part of a complex system designed to keep people away from the money pit. Marty Lagina was very impressed by the volume of the water. He noted that the base of the pit was starting to give way, and a huge crack was forming along the edge. Suddenly, the whole side of the hole began to slough off. It was a massive piece of earth that could have taken down the entire land bridge. Rick and Marty knew they had to get out of there immediately. It just wasn't worth the risk to keep standing on such unstable ground. This is exactly how the flood tunnel was supposed to work. More than 200 years ago, someone built a booby trap to stop treasure hunters. Every time someone gets close, water fills the shafts and the ground becomes a muddy trap. It's a brilliant piece of engineering that has worked for centuries. Billy Gerhardt had to stop the digging because the hole was caving in too fast. The team decided to backfill the area to make it stable again, which meant they had to pause the search for the main tunnel until the ground settled. It was a disappointing turn of events, but safety has to come first on such a dangerous island.
This is obviously not very stable. There is definitely structure.
Even though they had to stop, the team was excited because they saw wood at the bottom. Gary Drayton mentioned seeing wood posts, and Marty noticed a beam that looked like a tunnel structure. To get a better look without putting anyone in danger, they mounted a camera on the bucket of the excavator. They lowered it 30 feet down into the dark, wet hole. The footage showed all kinds of wood everywhere. There was a clear structure on the left wall that looked like it was braced with boards. These boards were at least 2 inches thick. Some were narrower on one side and more substantial on the other. It looked like a collapsed tunnel, or a secret shaft that had been hidden for generations. The crazy part is that this structure lines up with the U-shaped structure found earlier. Craig Tester calculated the location, and it fits perfectly with the idea of a main flood tunnel. If this wood is old, it means it was put there before the money pit was even discovered in 1795. If the data comes back from the lab and shows the wood is from 1769 or earlier, then they have found original work. This would be, hands down, one of the biggest finds ever on the island. But they are facing a tough reality. The team from Irving Equipment Limited is arriving to remove the massive steel cofferdam. This operation takes weeks and makes it impossible to keep digging in that spot for the rest of the year. The ground might be too dangerous to touch, but the team is not walking away empty-handed. Drills hitting hard rock. While the work at the cove had to slow down, the action in the money pit area was just getting started. Rick and Marty Lagina met with the team in the research center to plan their next move. They've been using science to narrow down where the treasure's hiding. Recent tests showed high levels of metals like copper, lead, zinc, and tin in the water. This is a huge clue because those metals don't usually occur naturally in those amounts. Dr. Michael Spooner believes the treasure is hidden in a very small area. He calls it a 30 by 15-foot oval shape. The team decided to give this spot a special name. They're calling it the Golden Egg. The plan is to drill a bunch of wells inside this golden egg to see what's hiding 100 feet down. The first hole they chose is called Borehole 13. This hole covers a spot they call the Baby Blob and the main golden egg area. They're hoping this is the year they finally find the gold. When they started drilling, they hit something interesting at about 99 feet. The drill operator felt the ground go from very soft to super stiff. This usually means they've hit a structure or a hard object. They pulled up the samples to see if there was any wood or metal. They didn't find wood right away, but the material was very firm. This suggests they're in fertile territory and could be very close to a hidden chamber. Dr. Spooner wanted to take a sample of the water to test for metals again. He knows that the chemistry of the water can tell them if they're getting closer to the source of the gold.
So we could be close to something.
If there's something there, we should be able to find it in that hole.
But then, something even weirder happened. While Rick was at the site, the scientist told him about a sound he heard while bailing the water. It sounded like thunder coming from deep inside the earth. It was a series of loud booms that went on for about 30 seconds. Nobody on the island has ever heard a sound like that coming from a drill hole before. The implication is that something is moving or collapsing deep underground. For a collapse like that, there has to be a void or an open space. It could be a chamber or a large tunnel that's finally giving way after hundreds of years. This strange event also changed the color of the water. The new samples were much darker, with a yellow tint. Dr. Spooner thinks the dark water means they're getting closer to a large source of wood. This could be the walls of a treasure vault or a massive bracing system. It isn't that simple, though, because any collapse makes the drilling more difficult. The team has to be careful not to lose their tools or cause a bigger cave-in, but the fact that they're moving water from a tunnel or a shaft is critical. It shows that there's a direct connection between their drill site and the hidden workings of the island. Every clue is pointing toward this one small oval of land. They're keeping their wits about them and moving to the next hole just 5 feet away. They're hoping to hit the object that explains where all those metals are coming from. The thunder below the earth is a warning that they are finally breaking into a secret world. Deep chambers cracking open. The sounds coming from the golden egg have everyone on edge. When you hear thunder coming from 100 feet down, you know you're dealing with something massive. The team believes this event moved water around in a way that hadn't happened in centuries. If there's an open chamber down there, it could hold the legendary treasure that stayed hidden since the 17th century. The yellow discoloration in the water is a massive hint. It suggests that the wood down there is breaking down, or that they have disturbed a site that has been sealed for a long time. Rick Lagina noted that they need to keep a close eye on these developments, because it is a very strange place for such an event to occur. There are still many rumors in the air about what could be making those sounds. Some people think it is just the natural shifting of the island, but the timing is too perfect. It happened right when they were drilling into the most promising spot on the map. The science is backing up the mystery now. By tracking the flow of the water and the types of metals found, they are building a map of a hidden underground world. They are looking for a direct connection to a vault. If the underground collapse means they are near an open chamber, then the next drill could be the one that changes history. While the drilling continues, the team is also looking at the history of the people who might have built these traps. They've found coins and tools that don't belong in Nova Scotia. One of the most interesting finds is a Roman coin found on Lot 5. This has led the team to think about the people who came to North America long before Christopher Columbus. They're looking at the descendants of the Vikings and the Knights Templar.
The descendants of Vikings are very important to understanding how an old world treasure might have come to Oak Island.
There's a lot of evidence that people were active on the island hundreds of years before the money pit was found. Doug and Emiliano have been researching the Norse explorers. They know that by the year 875, the Vikings had reached Iceland. By 985, they were in Greenland. Most importantly, they had a settlement in Newfoundland at a place called Lance aux Meadows by the year 1021. That site is only about 625 miles away from Oak Island. It is the only officially recognized Viking settlement in North America, but many people wonder if it was the only one. If the Vikings were in the area 1,000 years ago, they could have easily found Oak Island. The descendants of these explorers might have been the ones who helped the Knights Templar hide a treasure. The Vikings were the best sailors in the world and knew the North Atlantic better than anyone. If someone wanted to move a massive treasure from Europe to a safe place, the Vikings would be the ones to call. This theory connects the Roman coins, the lead cross, and the complex flood tunnels into one big story. It is a story of ancient secrets being carried across the ocean to a small island that was designed to be a permanent safe. Old world meets new. The team is now planning an expedition to Newfoundland to visit the Viking settlement. They want to see if the technology used at Lance aux Meadows matches anything they have found on Oak Island. Rick Lagina believes that the descendants of the Vikings were integral to the work done on the island. He thinks they provided the muscle and the knowledge to cross the ocean and build the deep shafts. If a group of people arrived in the 12th century, they would have needed a way to get there and a way to hide their tracks. The Viking connection provides that answer. They are also looking at an arrowhead and other items of possible Scandinavian origin. If there was prolonged activity by these groups, it explains why there are so many different types of artifacts on the island. Some things look Roman, some look medieval, and some look like they belong to the 17th century. This suggests that Oak Island was a known destination for secret groups for a very long time. It was not just a one-time stop. It was a location used over and over again to keep things safe from the rest of the world. Marty and the team agree that a new perspective is always a big thing. While some members stay to hold the fort and watch the drilling, others will travel north to chase the Viking trail. They are looking for any link that shows how an old world treasure could have ended up in a Canadian hole. The mystery of Oak Island is no longer just about a hole in the ground. It is about a global story that involves kings, knights, and explorers. Every time they find a new piece of wood or a strange coin, they are adding a new chapter to this tale. As the heavy equipment starts to move the cofferdam at Smith's Cove, the team is already looking toward the next year. They know that the flood tunnel is there, and they know the golden egg is hiding something. The thunder they heard underground might have been the sound of the vault finally opening up. Or it could be a warning that the island is too dangerous for anyone to conquer. They have to stay focused and use the science to guide them through the mud and the water. The hunt for the truth is more intense than ever. The mystery is deep and the dangers are real, but the team is not stopping. They are convinced that they are standing on top of the greatest secret in history. Whether it is Viking gold or Templar scrolls, something is waiting in the dark. The only question is if they can get to it before the island collapses for good. They are putting their heads together to figure out what the latest data means and where to drill next. Every day brings them one step closer to the end of a 200-year-old journey. Is the island itself the final guardian of the treasure? Could the constant collapses be a sign that we're too late to save what's hidden? Let us know your theories in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Bravo Tango for more updates. Would you risk a total collapse to find the gold?